The training principles that you need to consider when writing programs are FET, specificity, and progressive overload. Let's start with the FET principle. FET stands for frequency, intensity, time, and type. Frequency is how often the client needs to train. Intensity is how hard they should train. Time is how long the session should last, and type is what activities should the client do in order to achieve their goal. For example, if a beginner client's goal is to be able to run for 5Ks non-stop within 12 weeks, and they currently cannot run, they can achieve that by training 3 to 4 times per week, and that is their frequency. Now, intensity and time go hand in hand. In general, if one increases, the other decreases. Think about it. If you're training at really high intensities, you will find that you cannot last that long, so it's a shorter session. However, when you are training at low intensities, you can go on and on and on. It is only really fit people who can increase both the time and intensity simultaneously. So if the client is going to train 3 to 4 times a week, it is suggested that he starts at a low intensity and trains for 30 minutes in duration. In the first few weeks of training, it will be recommended that the client walks fast and also includes some strength training. This is the type component or the specificity principle. Specificity of training refers to that old saying, what you do is what you get. In other words, the training effects or adaptations are dependent on the training stimulus. For example, if you want to train for hypertrophy, you must train with weights so as to create that specific muscle adaptation that is required to put on size. Or, if you want to be able to run 10Ks, then you must do some form of long distance running in order to improve the aerobic energy system. Once the client has been following the program for a few weeks, it is important to progress it. If the client just walked for the full 12 weeks, they would never achieve their running goals. So it is important to know when to overload them. Initially, the client walked because as a beginner, they needed to establish a good base and give their body the chance to adapt to a new training regime whilst minimizing the potential risk of injury. Changing the program by manipulating the FET principle ensures progressive overload. Progressive overload means the gradual increase in load, intensity, or performance over time as the body physiologically adapts to the increasing demands. As already mentioned, the overload needs to be done gradually so as to avoid injury or burnout. Imagine if the beginner client was asked to run 5Ks in the first week of their program. Not only would they be very, very sore, but they are highly likely to get injured, have a bad experience, and not want to continue training. That is why walking was recommended initially. Then they would progress to a combination of walking and jogging to eventually running over that 12-week period.